Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. You've been hearing me ramble on about all-access comedy coming back to Halifax in a couple of weeks. Comedians from the disability community will hit the stage at Spatz Theatre. DJ Demers is emceeing the event. Before DJ says hello to you, here's a clip from last year's special. DJ's in an orange and blue there we go. Is on an orange and blue stage, wearing a suit, reading, I do that for a living. Behind him is the word ha with an exclamation point. On the bottom right of the screen is an ASL interpreter signing. Let's roll it.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I wear hearing aids myself. That's my disability. I am deaf, well, hard of hearing. I've had full-on deaf people get mad at me for calling myself deaf. They've come up to me after shows. When I've called myself deaf, they come up after. They're like, "You're not deaf. You're hard of hearing. We're deaf. You're not." I'm like, okay, I don't want no trouble here, you know. I'm just a couple dead batteries away from being on your team, you know what I mean? I do love performing on an accessible show like this because it's so great, not just from the accessibility perspective, but it's so good for your ego as a comedian. Because what happens is I tell my joke, and then the laughter comes in from the hearing people, and then a moment later, everyone who's reading the real-time captioning, they laugh. And then a second after that, the deaf people laugh from the interpretation, so I get 3 waves of laughter off the same joke. It's tremendous.
And he got a 4th wave by me giggling along with that right now, saying good morning and hello to DJ Demers. Hey, DJ, nice to chat with you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Great to see you, Dave.
DJ, I've had a similar experience when I refer to myself as blind. There are a lot of folks who holler at me, "You're legally blind, you're vision impaired, you're low vision." I'm like, let me call myself what I want to call myself.
What is, I actually was having this discussion with a friend last week. Is legally blind okay, or is that a taboo word now?
So I still use it. I still use it, and I still use vision impaired. In fact, I'd say that vision impaired is the one that tends to get the most scrutiny these days in terms of, oh, you know, you shouldn't use the word impairment. But it's how I'd like to label myself, and I think it really drives the point home. But every now and then, you know, if I'm talking to a customer service representative, I'm not going to walk them through my diagnosis and be like, hey, here's my full list of disabilities and here are all my pronouns. Sometimes you just got to get the words out.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Legally blind is an interesting one because I'm like, what's the threshold there? And am I legally deaf? Like, you don't use legally for any other, you know, it's not an adjective for any other disability. So that one is interesting. But yeah, vision impaired, hearing impaired. I don't think you're supposed to say hearing impaired anymore either, but I'm like, my hearing is very impaired. I can't think of a better way to describe it. But for me, it's like, if I can see your heart's in the right place, I don't care what you say. It's like, it's the intent that matters to me. But I know words matter too, but I try not to get too hung up on them.
But that's a really interesting thought though, DJ, because what you do for a living, just like what I do for a living, is communication. So words matter, but you're also trying to be funny. In my case, I'm trying to be entertaining and insightful. So I do try to respect and understand that certain people have the labels that they prefer, but that becomes one of the balancing acts that's really come front and center, especially in your industry.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's like, you have a choice of what you want to say while you're up on stage or while you're on TV. So I've been thinking about this lately, especially after writing my TV show I've had for CBC. Like, it's so crazy to write words and then see them actually be projected, whether it's by yourself or another actor saying your words. It's like those words didn't exist until you wrote them. So there is a lot of power in that. You get to decide how you want to present yourself or your message to the world. So I don't discount the importance of words, but you make a good point. Like, I'm not going to be proper at the expense of being funny. So it is a balancing act, but for me, funny always comes first without trying to hurt anybody.
You mentioned the sitcom One More Time, which folks can find on demand at AMI.ca as well. DJ, you talked about how that ended up being a learning experience. How was it different? Because you've been writing stand-up comedy for a long, long time. How was it different being in a writer's room and trying to put pen to paper and create voices for other people, not just your own voice?
It was amazing. I mean, first of all, writing stand-up comedy has given me too much credit. I've been going on stage and blabbing until something starts to take shape. So this was my first time really like being like, sitting down and writing, and then on top of that with a room full of people. But it's been absolutely incredible. I've loved every second of it. Just collaborating. I've realized I really love just, you have 7 other people at your disposal to pick their minds and really get the best out of everybody. And I really enjoyed the idea of like trying to foster a creative environment where everybody felt free to say whatever they want, throw out the bad ideas, keep the good ones. And I made so many great friends in the writers' room. And the whole process was just, I love stand-up, but I've loved making a TV show just as much. It's such a cool thing, like I said, to create something out of thin air and then be like, to see the final product and be like, wow, that came from us throwing these ideas against the wall in the writer's room. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of your own evolution, you emceed All Access Comedy last year. You're emceeing again this year. I'm positive it's not the first time that you've emceed at all. It's quite common in the stand-up space. But how does your approach change when you're emceeing rather than doing your own sets or a one-man show?
It's a good question. I don't MC as much as I used to. It's kind of a thing like where when you're coming up in the industry, you'll take any spot you can get. And a lot of that is the thankless job of MCing a show with, 16 comedians in a row and you got to be there the whole time. And it's like kind of the most thankless job in the business. I'd rather be the guy, the headliner, or even some guy just going up and doing 10 minutes in the middle and your job's done and you get to peace out. So MCing is, it's different. It's comedy, but it's also you're in charge from the get-go. You're setting the tone of the show. You're creating the vibes when you walk out there. You're adjusting based on the set of the last comedian. If you need to adjust to the feeling in the room before you bring up the next comedian, you're resetting the energy. So it's really it's more than just comedy. It's really trying to manage the energy of the room, which is a real kind of palpable thing. Not to get too hippy dippy, but I really love trying to work with the energy and bring it to where it needs to be for the next comic. And also this show is just, it's different, right? You got an interpreter right beside you. You got real-time captioning. You're making sure that you're, doing descriptive video in real time. You're trying to integrate the description as you did describing the stage there when you introduced the clip. It's so much going on at one time, but all in the name of accessibility. So I really loved it last year, and I'm excited to go back this year. And I really like what they did, well, what AMI did with Jennifer Leese, the interpreter. You put her on the green screen in the bottom left corner, so she's there in real time as well. But then, it's really sleek looking, and she's really integrated into the broadcast. So I can't wait to do it again and see how you've improved it even more.
What are you looking forward to this year?
Well, I love Halifax, so I'm looking forward to going back there and seeing comedian friends that I haven't seen in a while. Jennifer Leese, the interpreter, is one of my great friends, so I always love hanging out with her and working with her. And Tina Frimmel, who's the headliner of the show this year, is amazing. I didn't know her until she was on The Tonight Show a few months back, and she just blew me away. So when I heard that she was going to be on this All Access show too, I was very excited to meet her and see her do her thing in person.
DJ, you and I have known each other for about 12 years. You and I met, we were both covering the All-Star game in Ottawa for AMI, and I remember you were just so loose and cutting it up with the players and having a good time and cracking jokes and making the Sedin twins laugh, and you and I even shared a couple chuckles on the side working with a couple videographers. But, we were a couple dudes in our 20s back then, being a little loosey-goosey. How has your comedy changed in that time?
Well, you get older and the subject matter that happens is, I'm 38 right now. I got a kid, a wife. We've been married for like 5 years. So I'm getting older and the subject matter reflects that. But I like to believe I'm as loose as ever. I'm trying to not turn into some stodgy old man. So it's like a fine line between, being forever young, but not being like the old guy trying to be young. So I'm just trying to evolve as a person and not, I'm just trying to make sure that whatever I'm saying on stage is accurately reflecting who I am. as a person, and who I am right now as a father and a husband, but still a loosey-goosey guy. I'm still 23 years old, cracking jokes in my mind, so I think I'll be that way till the day I die.
I know that I'm becoming an old man because I spent part of the first hour of the show complaining about a basketball game that starts at 9 p.m. tonight. 9 p.m. Eastern time in the Eastern time zone? Come on, what are you doing to me?
See, I'm different. I stayed up last night. I'm on the East Coast right now. I'm actually visiting my sister in Oakville. I'm in, to describe for the viewers at home, I'm actually in my niece's room right now. So if anybody is seeing that and wondering, wow, that looks like not quite what I expected DJ's room to look like. It's not. But yeah, I stayed up late last night. There was a Dallas Mavericks LA Clippers game on, started at 10 p.m. Eastern. I was up till 1 in the morning watching that. So I'd rather be tired than really face the reality of growing up. So that's how I fight against father time.
Well, okay, DJ, I know I'm asking all these invasive questions, and I apologize, but certainly
Invade away.
Okay, in the comedy world, so much of the activity and the sets and the gigs that you're going to book happen at night. 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It's not uncommon for someone to get on stage at midnight. How do you balance that as a parent?
Oh, well, you have a lovely supporting wife who understands what she signed up for and you know, how you make your living. So I love my wife, and she's been a big fan and a supporter of my stand-up from the beginning. So she's okay with me going out. And if there's a particularly late set, the difference is, like, if I have a set at 10 p.m., let's say, I'm not necessarily hanging out that long after like I used to. But if I have a set that, you know, I'm getting off stage at midnight or whatever, she understands that and she takes the reins in the morning. So, and then maybe the next day I wake up early and let her sleep in. So yeah, it's a balancing act, but I'm not really trying to like party like I used to anyway. So I can go on a little bit of sleep and still beat. Anytime I'm feeling really tired, I reflect on how bad my hangovers used to be when I was a drinker and whatnot, and then everything's smooth sailing from there. So it's all about perspective.
You can live the life without the lifestyle. I think there might be something to that, DJ. DJ, one more on the way out here, and then I will plug All Access Comedy one more time, because it is going to be a super cool event taking place on May the 12th. But DJ, my observation, pure layman here, no numbers to back this up. It really feels like comedy's having a moment. Every time I log into my Netflix or log into my Prime or even pop into my social media accounts, I'm getting all of this great new stand-up comedy coming across my feeds. What's your evaluation of the health of the industry right now?
I think the bubble's going to burst any day now, and everybody should sell on comedy. No, I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's because everything's so fragmented now, even in terms of how you can consume media. You mentioned Prime, you mentioned Netflix, and that's just two of the millions of streamers you can go to. So I think the cool thing about that is you can find your audience. So even if you're not the biggest star, even if you're not Kevin Hart, let's say, but you reach a specific niche of people and they enjoy your comedy, they can find a way to watch you. It's not like, you know, the 70s, let's say, where if you didn't get on Carson, you know, you were going to have a hard time getting people out to your show. So I think it's a great time for comedy. I think because it's so easy to film yourself and put yourself out there, people are creating their own content. And, you know, I follow a lot of comedians on social media. Obviously, they're a lot of my friends, and just watching the creative things people are doing and taking the media into their own hands and finding their fans on their own without the middleman. Yeah, I agree with you. It is a great time for comedy, and I think no matter what happens from here on out, whether it is a bubble, like I say, because it does feel like a bit of a bubble, I don't think it's going to like fully burst or anything, because people are always going to want to laugh, and people just love sitting down and watching content. I will say, not to ramble on too far, but it's interesting though, because it is a great time for comedy, but it's also like, because there's so much of it, it's almost harder to stand out now. You can find your niche, but making that, you know, that breakthrough to the mainstream, I feel like you have to really set yourself apart now, which is a fun challenge, but I think it is there.
Something I find deeply relatable on the media side of the business now too, right? That everybody's got a podcast, so you got to go over and above. Hey, DJ, congratulations on all the success. Have a great performance, a great night in Halifax on May the 12th, and safe travels while you're out east.
Thank you very much, Dave. Great to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. That's DJ Demers, comedian who will be emceeing All Access Comedy. That hits the stage in Halifax, May the 12th at the Spatz Theatre. To reserve tickets for the taping, visit halifaxcomedyfest.ca, halifaxcomedyfest.ca. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen.